Petco Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padres gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padres gang. Yeah, they.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Talking Friars pregame show for August 29th, 2022. I'm your host, Ben Fadden. Padres and the Giants get underway tonight. First of three in San Francisco at Oracle Park. 6:40 is the first pitch. It'll be Mike Clevenger on the mound for the Padres, Carlos Rodon on the mound for the San Francisco Giants. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, whether that's live here on YouTube, on replay. I encourage you to hit that subscribe button if you want daily Padres content. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss when I go live. You don't miss when a video is put out. Put out a couple clips today from the episode I did yesterday about Shamanaya, his struggles. What do you do with him next? Josh Hader. What do you do with him now? Can't trust the guy, right? So what do you do with him? So there's some content up there. Last night, put out a breakdown about how Will Myers was able to get more outs than Josh Hader was last night or yesterday on the mound. He got 2 outs. Hader got 1. And Myers did it in 9 pitches. Hader got 1 out in like 34 pitches or whatever it was. So, yeah, it wasn't great. It hasn't been great for Hader. And I don't think the Padres can trust him to use. I just don't think they can use him in any meaningful scenario until he gets it right. There's been some discussion. Oh, maybe you put Hader on the IL. There was some tweet out that I guess MLB Network was saying that Josh Hader, his son, I think his wife's name is Maria. Their baby, there's still some trouble there with the birth and stuff. So if that's definitely the case, I mean, he definitely should not be pitching right now. Family comes first. He should be with his family. He should be put on, I don't know what type of list it is, but like the excuse list, like the personal excuse, personal absence, whatever list that is, put him on there and have him go clear his mind and take care of that. Family comes first with that. Now, it's hard for me to say this, but when he does get on the mound, I don't think that he's thinking about his baby or his family or anything like that. I don't think that makes someone throw fastballs almost at the backstop. So I think that there are mechanical problems. Like he's in a slump. He's really, really struggling on the mound right now. And it makes it worse that he's dealing with this personal situation. So what I'm not saying, like, this is, man up or anything. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm saying, no, he shouldn't be pitching right now. Go be with your family if this is what's happening. But when he is on the mound, I don't know. It's just hard for me to say. I just can't give him a full pass because when you're on the mound, you're focused on, at least I think, you're focused on getting the guy out. And this just isn't the same guy that the Padres thought they were going to get. This isn't the same guy that he was earlier this season, where he didn't give up a run in the first 2 months of the season. So, getting to tonight's game, you're not going to see Hader. I don't know when the next time is that you will see Josh Hader. Some people here in the chat agree with me on Hader. Yeah, look, I have nothing personal against the guy. I commend that he's still trying to pitch. If he is dealing with this family stuff and with his baby and all that, I do applaud him for that. But if this is the case, go be with your family. Moving to today, Padres looking for their 71st win on the season. They had a lot of guys pitch out of the bullpen, and we can start with the bullpen situation. We'll get into the starting pitching matchups, get into the lineups. But obviously, Hader not going to pitch today. He threw 34 pitches yesterday anyway. Garcia could go back-to-back days. Martinez will be available to close tonight, I would think. Didn't pitch yesterday. 13 pitches on Saturday. Tim Hill, 7 pitches yesterday. Morahone didn't pitch yesterday. Suarez didn't pitch yesterday. So if you're looking at guys that didn't pitch yesterday, you got Martinez, Suarez, Morahone. Those could be your 7, 8, 9 inning guys. They have a lead. Maybe Morahone goes multiple innings, goes 6, 7 if Clevenger can only get through 5. I'm just throwing it out there if they have a lead. Again, they could go to Hill, Garcia maybe. There's different guys that they could go to. But just looking at, 3 main guys that didn't pitch yesterday, those are the 3 I'd probably go with: Martinez, Suarez, and then Morahone. As for the pitching matchups, this seems like it's going to be a good one. Carlos Rodon on the mound for the Giants. Mike Clevenger on the mound for the Padres. Rodon, I mean, remember earlier this year, I know it was a different team. They didn't have Juan Soto in the lineup like they do tonight. But the Padres, they got complete game shutout. Shut out against Rodon. When was that? April? No, it wasn't April. It was, I think, July 9th. Yeah. He went 9 innings, gave up only 3 hits, 1 run, walked 2, struck out 12. Lowered his ERA at that point to 2.70. It's not that far off from what it is right now. That's how good he's been. It's 2.81 right now. And that is 8 starts later. So it raised by 0.1 runs. I mean, this guy's been really good. So I would think it's going to be a tough matchup, just like it was last time. I don't think a few hitters, Soto, Bell, Drury, I don't think that changes too much of what Rodon's going to be doing and how much success he'll have off of the Padres. And just looking at the matchups, Drury's hitting 200 off him in his career. I'm just looking at the additions who are in the lineup tonight. Josh Bell doesn't have any at-bats off him. And Juan Soto doesn't have any at-bats off him. So it's not like there's someone that's like hitting him really, really good who's coming in. Soto's a really good hitter. In fact, he's my Padre pick tonight to get a hit. But I'm just picking the Padres' best hitter, most talented hitter, because I can't really nail down someone that I'm going to pick here as a Padre pick who I think will get a hit tonight because of how good Rodon has been against the Padres. And Profar, yeah, he's hitting 500 off of him. It's only 4 at-bats. And Profar is hitting 7th in the lineup tonight. I usually like going with guys that are higher up in the lineup, more, at the top of the lineup. And then with Clevenger, last time out, 6 innings, 2 runs, only walked 1 guy, struck out 4 against Cleveland. He did give up 2 home runs. But again, I said this, I think, on the reaction after that game. I was at that game at Petco. He pitched really good. That was one of the nights. That was the first of 2 against Cleveland where the offense just couldn't do anything, really. That was the game Manny popped up. The second with some runners on, Crony struck out, I think, looking. I'm trying to remember what happened after that. Those were the 2 big ones that I remember. In the first inning, Josh Bell, I believe, hit a hard ground ball to second base, just hit right at someone. So I didn't get on him for that. But I believe they left 10 guys on base during that game. So hopefully they can put more guys on base and not just put more guys on base, come through, not leave that many guys on base tonight. But they are facing a better pitcher. That Cleveland game, August 23rd, they were facing Aaron Savali. Tonight, they're facing Carlos Rodon, an all-star. So, was he an all-star this year? I think he was an all-star this year. 2-time all-star. He's a very good pitcher. That's my point. Let me see here. Let me make sure that he was an all-star this year. Yeah, he was an all-star this year. All-star last year with Chicago. All-star this year with the Giants. So that's what we got going. I'm definitely more confident in Clevenger than I am Shamanaya. I'm more confident in every starter in this rotation other than Manaya. Don't know what you're going to do with Sean next time around. I think they're still going to start him against the Dodgers, but maybe they have a short leash. Maybe they bring up Kinnear and send down Wilson for a day or something to have that piggyback type guy if they do have a short leash on Manaya. there's just not that many options. Like Nick Martinez, he's not an option to go start and replace Shamanaya. He's thriving in that closer role right now. It would be one thing maybe if Hader was doing good, right? Even if he was, and you could rely on him as a closer. Well, Martinez isn't built up right now. When's the last time he's pitched 3 innings? If you're gonna have him start, you want him to pitch like 5, 6. He's just not built up. Padres lineup tonight: Ha-Seong Kim leading off. Love that. Shortstop. Juan Soto's hitting second. Manny's hitting third, playing third. Bell's DHing. Brandon Drury's at first. I don't know if I agree with this. Myers is in center. I'm talking about him at that position, him playing center. Don't know if I like that. I know he's hit well at Oracle Park, but and Azokar and Grisham, they're not strong, hitting options. But Myers in center, don't know if I like that. In fact, I don't like that. Profar's in left, hitting 7th. Crony's at second, hitting 8th. This might be the lowest he's hit this season. Hopefully he hits a bomb tonight, hitting 8th. Nola is catching, hitting 9th. With Camposano obviously not going to catch again until maybe Wednesday, the day game. Who's starting? Or that would be Musgrove. So I don't even know if they'd want Camposano catching Musgrove, to be honest. They have the off day Thursday. Nola might catch 3 straight days. Who knows? Maybe they have Camposano DH or something. I just don't think he looked good at catching yesterday. Cost Padres a couple runs, base running and throwing. So as for tonight, though, Nola, he's catching back in there. I like the lineup, most of the lineup. I'm fine with Will Myers hitting 6, like offensively, like in terms of, he has that power. At least recently, 2 home runs in Kansas City, back-to-back days. Seems like he's found it a little bit, going oppo, but I just don't like him in center field, especially Oracle Park. That's a big outfield. So, especially that right center gap. I know it's not as big as it used to be because they moved the fences in, I think, a few feet. But yeah, that's something to watch for. Will Myers in center field tonight. And the Giants, I don't believe they have their lineup out yet. Yeah, I don't see any lineup out for the Giants yet. And they all don't have more than 5 at-bats, any single player off of Clevenger. So, nothing to talk about in terms of matchups, anything good with them. The Giants, 61-65, 4 games under 500. Maybe this is their last, grasp to stay into the postseason picture. Not stay in the postseason picture. I don't know. I don't think they're close to being a postseason team. Even if they were to get back in, they'd have to play better than the Phillies and the Padres to get in. I just don't see that happening. Their defense has been atrocious this year, and I do believe they're dealing with some injuries. And last year it was a cool story. I think losing Buster Posey was huge for them, like huge in the wrong way. Joey Bart just hasn't been that great offensively. If I'm looking at his numbers, let me see what he's doing this year. Hitting 228, 10 home runs, 21 RBI. Yeah, he's not really doing much. OPS is a little over 700. He's let's see. Last 7 games, 240 on base percentage, not good enough. So, he's a young catcher. He's definitely probably going to get better as years go on. But losing Buster Posey, obviously Hall of Fame catcher, that probably hurt them a lot. And your veterans aren't having as great of a year as they did last year when they won 107 games in the regular season. Getting back to this series, the Padres, I think they definitely should win this series. And probably need to. The Brewers are playing the Pirates, I believe. So, yeah. We're playing the harder team. All right. I already went through Padre pick lineups, or the lineup that is out. That's the Padres. Pitching matchup, bullpens. There's not really a closer question, I don't think, anymore right now. It's Nick Martinez. He's the closer, and I'm very confident in him in that role right now. But a few hours from now, maybe he blows a save or something, and because that's just baseball, right? And I look like an idiot. All right, let's go through some comments here to end this. Again, if you want to support the channel, daily Padres content, you can use the super chat button, and I'll make sure to get your comment up here on the screen. You can also use the super thanks button on regular videos if you're watching this on replay. If you want to support the channel as well, I appreciate that. All right, let's get to some chat here. Risk it for the biscuit. Hater needs to be put on leave or the IL. I agree. Let him be with his family. He's dealing with a lot and can't pitch. I agree. Christopher says we need just enough offense for this series, but it will definitely be tough. The Giants, yeah, we're gonna need offense. I think I like our pitching for this series, how that's lined up, but they're also facing tough pitching on the other side, the Giants. Rodon today, Webb tomorrow. Those are their two best pitchers. And then Alex Wood, never know what's going to happen with him. Funky arm angle. That's on Wednesday. So, yeah. Yeah. They're going to have to score some runs here. Joe says, what is wrong with Josh Hader? Give Taylor Rogers back. Well, that's not happening. Trade deadline's over. They've got what they got. And that's Nick Martinez, Robert Suarez, Luis Garcia, Adrian Morejon, Tim Hill. Like, those are the guys. Maybe I forgot one more guy, but those are the guys. And I'm confident in those guys right now. It would just help if they had Josh Hader, because that was a big piece that the Padres acquired before the trade deadline. Or at least we thought that was going to be a big piece. Irie says here, Nick Martinez is our solid closer now. Question is, Sean, what do we do with him? Do we call up Weathers or Kerr? At least Weathers has that nasty pickoff move. Yeah, but if you have a 6 ERA, like I believe he has in AAA, the pickoff move doesn't mean anything because guys are just going to score anyway. I don't think Weathers is really an option. They would have already. I think didn't they pull him up once against the Cubs this year and then send him back down? I wouldn't bring him up. I think Kinnear's that. You say Ray Kerr here. If they're gonna bring someone up, I think it's gonna be someone that can pitch like 4 innings, 3-4 innings, and maybe 5. That's Reese Kinnear. Ray Kerr doesn't do that. They could just bring up Jose Castillo if they want a regular reliever. He was just up here. What's up, Tupac 13? Hope Springs Eternal here says it will be very hard to win with Rodon as the starter for San Francisco. Nevertheless, there are a few games he has blown. Yeah, but recently he hasn't been pitching bad. And last time he faced the Padres, some of these same guys were in the lineup and he shut us out. Yeah, I agree, Christopher. Myers in center field defensively at Oracle. That doesn't sound great at all. Yep. And Joe Alfaro is hurt. Yep. The knee injury, so Campusano's up. That's why he's up. Oh, okay, we're talking about Campy here. Sky says he made some mental errors, but his catcher's scorecard would prove that he actually was a great framer yesterday. Is that his catcher scorecard or is that the umpire scorecard? Because I saw the umpire scorecard. It was like plus 2 runs in favor of the Padres. So maybe some people connected that to Campusano being good at framing. Maybe he is. I don't know. I haven't gotten too deep into that. I was just watching the game, and I wouldn't really want to pitch to him. That's just me. But yeah, Sky says Campusano is a better framer than Nola, has been catching longer than Nola. Maybe he's been catching longer than Nola because I know Nola was a shortstop, I believe, at LSU. And then he turned to a catcher, I believe, when he was a pro, or maybe it was his last year at LSU. I don't know. I think it was as a pro. So yeah, Campusano has probably caught more years longer than Nola, but Nola's the better catcher. There's a reason why he's the starting catcher. It's not offense, or not just offense. I have liked what I've seen out of Nola a little bit better as of late compared to earlier this year. Um, it's defense. It's commanding the pitching staff. It's familiarity with the pitching staff. Because I realized that Campusano, like yesterday, first time with PitchCom in a game, not familiar or hasn't caught those starting pitchers or relievers. Hater probably ever hasn't caught Manaea in a long time, since probably spring training or that time he was called up for 14 at bats. I understand that, and it was a tough situation and all that, but it was some of the mental errors that it was like, come on, man, like you can't do that. You got to be better. Where the Padres are in the standings, you can't afford to have those mistakes if he's going to be catching those Dodger games, if those are close games, or the Mariners or the Cardinals, games like that. You can't be having that. I just see a lot of conversation amongst yourselves, so I'm just scrolling down here. Okay, I meant Reese Kinnear, not Ray Kerr. Okay. Yeah, Kinnear, that's the most. I I think that's the option that is likeliest the most if they do bring someone up to replace Manaea, or have that person they call up piggyback with Manaea for his next start. If they want to have a really short leash with Manaea. All right. Anything else more to talk about? Clevenger against Rodon today. Let me see if the lineup's out for the Giants yet. Still no lineup. But again, it's Kim leading off. Soto, Manny, Bell, Drury. Myers is in center. Profar, Cronenworth, and then Nola. I like the lineup. I'm just really interested to see Will Myers in center field tonight. Because Oracle Park, when I think of big outfields, I think of Coors Field, and then I think of Oracle. At least National League. Most of the road ballparks we see are National League. So those are the ones that immediately come to mind. Milwaukee, they are a game and a half back of the Padres. Technically 2.5, because the Padres have the head-to-head advantage. There's no game 163. So if Padres and the Brewers had identical records at the end of the regular season, the Padres would make the postseason. So in the standings, I believe they have a game and a half lead. Technically, though, they have a 2.5 game lead, which is better than 1.5, obviously. Let me make sure I have that correct in the standings. I know I do with the tiebreaker thing. And MLB up doesn't want to load, of course. I believe they're a game and a half up on Milwaukee because both teams won their series, but Milwaukee didn't sweep the Cubs. But Milwaukee's playing the Pirates tonight in Milwaukee, 5:10, so hour and a half before the Padres game. Oh, here we go. Wild card, yeah. Padres technically 2.5 games up on Milwaukee. Game and a half up, actually, if you look at the standings, but 2.5 because of the tiebreaker. I think it's going to be a good game tonight. 6:45, not 6:40, 6:45. Rodon, Clevenger. Hopefully they can put up some runs against Rodon. I think that sets up well for the Padres tonight. If they can get a couple runs off him. I don't think the Giants' bullpen's been that great this year, and you can ride your bullpen. Clevenger has a strong start. You can get a win tonight. All right, I think that's going to do it. Talking Friars pregame show for August 29th, 2022. I'm your host, Ben Fadden, at Talking Friars on Twitter for the in-game clips. And if you have not already, I encourage you to subscribe to this YouTube channel for daily Padres content. All right, enjoy the game, everybody. Talk to you guys later. Go Pods. See ya.